low temperature overnight is going to be below freezing again. We're down at 26 degrees. We'll end the week with another sunny day. It was a beautiful week today. High temperature as you head through the afternoon, 56 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. All right. Hello, everyone. We are back on this Thursday. You are listening to the Scoreboard right here on WSIC 1059, 100.7 FM, and always streaming the video live to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, our website, WSICnews.com. Man, you can get us everywhere. I say it all the time, and I feel like one of these days we're going to get a call from an actual worldwide location, but WSIC is worldwide. We got a great one in store for you here today. A lot of things to go over, some high school sports, as we always do start the show with. We'll talk about the high school basketball scene, as tomorrow we have some games going on, and we've had some games going on throughout the week, so we will make sure to run through all of that. The Panthers are in the news for a few reasons. One of those reasons having to do with a former quarterback for them. And the other, well, it's not the best thing in the world, but ticket prices? Yeah, the prices to go to a Carolina Panther ticket football game is in the news. And you're going to want to stay with me for this one. This is, boy, is this terrifying. It's just scary. There's no other way to put it. Also, NBA news. Oh, boy. Draymond Green, what are you doing, buddy? Suspended back in November for 5 games, and now suspended indefinitely. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on in the show, as well as the Carolina Hurricanes, as they seem to be the best pro-U.S. or pro-North Carolina sports team right now, because, you know, the Panthers aren't that great. The Hornets are just, man, we could just forget about the Hornets, honestly, at this point. The season's already a wash, unless they go on a crazy 15-game winning streak, which, you know, don't get me wrong, that'd be pretty cool. I just don't see it happening. So without any more time being wasted, let's get into things. High school sports. High school basketball. We had some games going on. And we have some games coming up. So we're going to run through this the way we always do, starting in the Lake Norman area. Mooresville Blue Devils, 5-2 to start the year. That's pretty good. One of the better teams in the area, actually, is there's a lot of these schools right now in this area, especially Iredell Statesville schools, that are having a tough start to the beginning of their basketball season. But Mooresville is doing good to start their year. Not part of the Iredell Statesville school, just, yeah, you know, but still, you know, local team. 5-2 to start the year. They haven't played since the 8th when they beat Statesville 71-41. They do play on Saturday. That is when they'll resume play. They're at home against Concord. That game tips off at 2:30. Moving on to the other Lake Norman area school we focus on here, the Lake Norman Wildcats. 8-0 to start their season. A wonderful way to start things off. They play Friday. They are at home, and they take on a local team up here literally walking distance away from Studio A. And that is Statesville High School. Lake Norman's had a really good year. They are currently led in points by Santana Lynch, guard for them at 15 points per game. He is a senior there. Also leads the team in rebounds per game, steals per game, and total points. Trey McKinnon is the second on the team, and Trent Stainer is third on the team, and those are all points per game. So those are your leaders right now for Lake Norman, as they have the best start out of any local team. So trying to keep that undefeated streak alive to start the year. And as we move closer to the Statesville area schools, we will start with North Iredell. Tough start to their year, 2-5, but they played earlier in the week against Davie and lost. They're actually on a little bit of a hiatus here. Their next game isn't until next week when they play on the 20th. That'd be a Wednesday, if any of you were wondering. And they take on Ford High School at 7:30. That's a conference game. So these conference games are starting to roll in fast and furious. They got a host of conference games coming up to North Iredell. Actually, the remainder of their schedule is against in conference teams. West Iredell, oh boy, let's talk about West Iredell. I told you guys yesterday that they had a really good chance to get back in the win column and start to really recover this tough start to the season. Started the year 1-4. They won a game a couple of weeks ago against Elkin, 58-45. They played Bunker Hill on the road last night. Bunker Hill was a team that was winless going into this week, and unfortunately, they got their first win, and West Iredell fell. They drop another game. They're down to 1-5 to start this year. Not where you want to be as your conference schedule starts to pick up here. I mean, conference games are here. It is time to start winning these games, and unfortunately, tough start to the year. South Iredell has also had a really, really rough start. 1-7. They won their third game of the year on the road against West Iredell, who we just talked about also having a tough start to their year. But boy, we got a couple of weeks still before they start their conference schedule, because if you remember, South Iredell had such a slow start to their... Oh, that was Statesville High School. I'm thinking of the wrong team here. And I'm looking at their schedule right now, actually. I don't know how I got that one mixed up. But tomorrow, South Iredell tries to get back on the right track. They're on the road against Alexander Central, and Alexander Central is having a decent start to the year. They're 4-5, just not really moving the needle one way or another to start their season. South Iredell's leaders right now, Kobe Richardson, the forward for South Iredell, leads the team with 12 points per game. He is actually a sophomore on that team, followed by Brady Duquette and Ryder Block. Those are your leaders in points per game for South Iredell. Statesville High School, as we mentioned earlier, they play against Lake Norman on the road at 7:30. 1-3 to start their year, and their leading points per games are actually two players, Caleb Tillman and Micaiah Davis, at 11.5 points per game. So those are your team leaders right there. Support those local basketball teams. Tomorrow, we're going to also talk about it. Obviously, we do it every day. First segment of the show, local sports, high school scene. Stay with me. We got a lot of things coming up. You're listening to The Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. We're back after this.
Keep it right here. There's more of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way from the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Already thinking about what you're going to do in the new year? Several performances scheduled at Kane Center for the Arts are already sold out. Some of the upcoming Kane Center performances include Rocky Lynn, Forever Young, Jeff Allen, and even a Stunt Dogs experience. To see the entire lineup and to purchase your tickets, visit canearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? Speedway Christmas is back. Happening daily, the amazing Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through January 7th. The show is open 6 to 10 p.m., rain or shine. The infield Christmas Village is open Thursday through Sunday nights. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now through January 7th. For tickets, visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. Santa is here. Schedule your time to take pictures between now and Christmas Eve in Birkdale. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from the professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Come enjoy mistletoe sip and shops in downtown Mooresville this Friday. Open houses, store specials, sumptuous sips, divine deals, and yummy appetizers. Oh boy! This Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Mistletoe Sip and Shops this Friday night, downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on Events to submit your event today.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. As you head through the remainder of the evening, the skies are going to remain clear. That low temperature overnight is going to be below freezing again. We're down at 26 degrees. We'll end the week with another sunny day. It was a beautiful week today. High temperature as you head through the afternoon, 56 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hello friends, this is Dwight with Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, inviting you to join the Gullion family and staff in praising the Lord for 30 years of providing you with trustworthy and inspiring books, Bibles, music, gifts, and supplies. We so appreciate your support and friendship over all these years. With locations in King and Statesville, North Carolina, visit us again soon for encouraging fellowship and essential provisions for your Christian life. Gullion's Christian Supply and Homeschool Headquarters, where the Bible stands.
Proud to be a part of your holidays. WSIC.
Talk sports with Joe Berg. Call 844-STUDIO-4. It's The Scoreboard on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, everyone. Hello. We are back. Segment number 2. You're listening to The Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM, 704-873-1400. That's our phone number if you have something you'd like to talk about. I'm taking your calls. I'm taking any calls. I'm taking every call. We are going to change gears a little bit. Usually in the second segment of the show, I like to talk about the NFL, but I want to save that for a little bit later because there's some things with the Panthers that we need to discuss. Before we get to that, we need to talk about what's going on in the NBA. I feel like I've been neglecting the NBA a little bit here, but rest assured, I'm going to get you the information that you need. Starting with yesterday, we had some interesting games. Giannis Antetokounmpo sets the franchise record for the Bucks, scoring 64 points in their win against the Indiana Pacers, 140-126. These basketball scores are out of hand. 140. Whew. Giannis is only the 5th player in NBA history to score 60 or more points on a 70% field goal percentage. Dame Lillard, David Thompson, Karl Malone, and Wilt Chamberlain, who did it 4 times. He has been absolutely unstoppable. And not to mention, Dame Lillard, he passed Kyle Korver for 5th all-time in three-pointers. But, you know, you're not going to really talk about that because Giannis went off for 64. Well, how about that? So the Bucks continue to improve their record. They're up to 17-7 on the year. The Hornets played last night, and man, I don't know what's more painful, the Panthers or the Hornets. I really don't. I want to say Panthers because we didn't expect this. But the Hornets have just been so bad for so long. It's like, man, what are we doing? They fell to the Miami Heat 115 to 104, led by Terry Rozier with his 28 points, and then Gordon Hayward putting up 20. There's not much to look forward to. Gordon Hayward, by the way, man, what a career. You can remember Gordon Hayward all the way back to his days at Butler when he almost hit that game winner in the national championship against Duke. Whew, what a career that's been. Played for Boston. Gordon Hayward. Brandon Miller, the rookie for the Hornets, has had an okay season. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. He's playing for a team that's not very good. But he looks okay. He's shooting 40% from the field. He's shooting 40% from three. And he's over 80% from the line. Those are building blocks right there. Scoring about 18 a game. I know we say this every single year, and I know people are probably getting sick and tired of this, but hey, maybe the Hornets are on the right track. Maybe they're starting to build a nice young core. Who knows what's going to happen with LaMelo Ball. But if they keep losing, they can get another lottery pick maybe, and hopefully for once the Hornets can win themselves a draft lottery in the NBA. The biggest story of the week with the NBA is Draymond Green. And when is Draymond Green not in the news when it comes to the NBA? It seems like we're talking about him every other week. And there's a reason for this. Earlier in the week, Draymond Green earlier in the week, there was an altercation between Draymond Green and Phoenix Suns center Yusuf Nurkic. He hit him in the face, was given a flagrant 2 and an ejection. That happened on Wednesday. Less than 24 hours later, late last night, probably around 9 o'clock or so, the NBA announced that they have suspended Golden State Warriors forward Draymond Green indefinitely following his 18th ejection of his career. And it seems like the NBA has had enough of the antics that are Draymond Green. And look, I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to be Dennis Rodman. He's been trying to be Dennis Rodman since he started playing. And it worked when the Warriors were good and when they were winning. Honestly, you could make the argument that Draymond Green was the most important player on that Golden State, I guess we can call it a dynasty. Yeah, I'm going to call it a dynasty. On the Golden State's Warrior dynasty that they had earlier in the 2010s. Because what happened when he got ejected from Game 5 against the Cavs? The Cavs won, and then they got some momentum. They won Game 7 after falling 3-1. The Warriors were winning that game before Draymond got ejected. And he gets ejected again last night. And look, he deserved to be ejected. He deserved to be suspended. If you saw the video of what happened, he just hit him in the face. There's no way around it. There's absolutely no other way you could look at this. And now you have other stars in the NBA, like Kevin Durant, saying that he hopes that Draymond Green gets the help that he needs. I don't know why all of a sudden the NBA has decided to step up and do something. Maybe because of the fact that less than a month ago, on November 15th, 2 days away from 1 month ago from yesterday. So yesterday we were 2 days away from a month after he got, okay. You get what I'm trying to say. On November 15th, Draymond Green was suspended 5 games for escalating an on-court altercation when he got into it with Timberwolves center Rudy Gobert. Not even a month later and you sock someone in the face? What are you doing? the NBA is right in this. I mean, nobody is arguing with the NBA here. And I don't know how long it's going to be until they decide to let Draymond back. Are they going to try to, see if there's been improvement in his character? Maybe some therapy is in order? I'd say so. But it's a bad situation, and Draymond's been like this his whole career. I really wonder if the Warriors didn't have a dynasty and Draymond's antics were the same throughout his entire career, do we think that the Warriors would have put up with that? I'm going to say no. The only reason that they put up with Draymond Green for this long is because they were winning championships. And he was a vital part of that dynasty. But now as everybody gets old, look, Steph Curry's not young anymore. We like to think of Steph Curry as still this young guy who came out of Davidson and shocked the world. No, Steph Curry is now 35 years old. He was the core, the main building block of that team. Then you have Klay Thompson. Man, Klay Thompson's not young either anymore. He's 33. So the Warriors, their dynasty is slowly coming to an end. And people can argue that it is already over. I don't think it'll be over until Curry and Thompson and even Draymond are gone from that team. Because we saw them win a championship a couple of years ago. Came out of nowhere, really. They were bad. They were bad the year before. One of the worst teams in the league. And then all of a sudden, hey, the Warriors are good again. And they go and win a championship. So they can turn it around. I mean, it's basketball. These things happen. But I don't know what the league decides to do with Draymond Green. And look, they got other things to worry about right now. They really do. So I think this is more of a, look, we're sick and tired of you, Draymond. Sit down, go away for a little bit, feel better. And then once you're better, come back. We'll allow you to play again because we have other fish to fry here. And when you look at the NBA standings and you try to see where the Warriors fill into this picture here, they're not having the best year in the world. They're actually having a pretty bad year. There's a lot of teams that are having surprisingly bad years, like the Warriors, who are currently 10-13, 11th in the West. They're not even in the play-in tournament. The team ahead of them, the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, KD, Bradley Beal, which, they haven't had the big three play all at once just yet. 13 and 11. They are the 10 seed. So you have a few surprises here in the West. And look, the distractions that continue to come the Warriors' way when they let Draymond Green do his antics, it is distracting. And I think it's one of the reasons that the Warriors' dynasty is slowly but surely coming to an end. One of these days, the Hornets are going to have a dynasty. One of these days. I might not be here anymore. Who knows? It might take that long. They might not even be in Charlotte anymore. I know I've been saying that. People are going to start getting mad. I got to stop saying that. People are going to get upset. I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying that this is the road that we're heading. Look, remember when the Hurricanes were really bad for years? They were this close to being sold and, well, not sold, but relocated. And then all of a sudden they started winning and the fans came back and it's like, wait a second, Raleigh's a good hockey market now. One of these days, the Hornets are going to start winning. People are going to start going back to the games. And then we don't have to even question a relocation. We're heading to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the NFL. Don't go anywhere. This is the Scoreboard on WSIC. We're back after this.
Keep it right here. There's more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Senator Tom Tillis is harnessing the power of clean energy to create a stronger America. Building a clean energy economy will create high-wage American manufacturing jobs and expand opportunities for hardworking families to thrive and prosper. Investing in clean energy innovation will strengthen our electric grid and make it more resilient against natural disasters and foreign hackers. Senator Tom Tillis understands that clean energy is vital to America's economic and national security. To become energy independent, America needs an all-of-the-above energy strategy. Wind, solar, and homegrown biofuels can help break our dependence on foreign energy, create a booming economy, and protect our environment for generations to come. America can lead the world in clean energy innovation. Call 202-224-3121. Thanks, Senator Tom Tillis, for building America's clean energy economy. Paid for by Americans for a Balanced Budget.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. As you head through the remainder of the evening, the skies are going to remain clear. That low temperature overnight is going to be below freezing again. We're down at 26 degrees. We'll end the week with another sunny day. It was a beautiful week today. High temperature as you head through the afternoon, 56 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
The Statesville Family YMCA reminds you that older adults and those with chronic health conditions don't need to feel they must accept impaired balance and limited mobility. Build strength, improve balance, and gain confidence in your mobility through the Moving for Better Balance program. For questions and additional information, email C. Mullins at ymcanwnc.org. Fall is here, and Little Shavers has the supplies you need. Wheat straw, pine needle, grass seed, pelletized line, landscape edging, and railroad cross ties. Got a deck that needs staining? Little Shavers has PPG paints and stains at prices you can afford. Fall is a great time to replace your furnace filters at Little Shavers. Get the products you need at reasonable prices from Little Shavers, 3301 Salisbury Road in Statesville.
New year, new hosts. Starting January 2nd, WSIC will sound a little bit different. Starting with Good Morning LKN, Justin and Bill welcome Mamie Lee, the Mean Queen. Then Home Ad continues to keep the community first as Brian Summers takes over for Pat Shannon. And finally, introducing the News Drive at 5, WSIC's All News Hour, hosted by Patrick Reynolds. A new year and a new sound from WSIC. Local starts here.
The Panthers take on their third straight division opponent this week with the Atlanta Falcons coming to Bank of America Stadium. The Falcons are in the mix for the NFC South title, and the Panthers would love to knock them out of the running. I'm Sharon Thorson with a Panthers update after this.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Panthers at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you have the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change, and mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Panthers.
The race for the NFC South title remains a tight one, with the Bucs holding a slim edge over the Falcons and the Saints. That makes Sunday's game at Carolina a key one for the Falcons. The Panthers are out of the running for the division crown, but that doesn't mean they wouldn't love to spoil their rival shot at it, says defensive end Derek Brown.
Oh, yeah. If we go into the crib, I want everybody else at the house, too. I mean, that's one of them things where we know we've been eliminated from the playoff run. But, hopefully we get a chance to put a few more teams at the house with us, put it that way.
To send the Falcons home with a loss, Brown and the Panthers will have to slow down their potent running attack. The Falcons are averaging over 132 yards per game on the ground. That ranks 6th in the NFL. Rookie Bijan Robinson is the star of the show. He's rushed for 790 yards and 4 touchdowns. Throw in Tyler Algier and Cordarrelle Patterson, and you've got a three-headed monster, says Brown.
Every one of them runs different. So, it's Bijan in himself, super athletic. Tyler Algier is a power back. Cordell's a downhill guy. All three of them don't waste no time trying to get downhill into that line of scrimmage. So, it's one of those things where, we got to hold gap accountability and be able to, play our gaps and play in the scheme.
Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock Sunday. I'm Sharon Thorson on the Panthers Radio Network, presented by Morris Jenkins.
The Scoreboard with Joe Berg continues now on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
We are back. We're already halfway through. Segment number 3 here today on the Scoreboard. 704-873-1400. That is our phone number. Give me a call. Hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Do you have a question? Do you have something you'd like to talk about? I want to talk about the NFL. People are about to get mad. But before we talk about the NFL, I want to talk a little bit about Charlotte FC real quick. Because they actually did something pretty cool on their social media pages. They announced their new head coach. And I mentioned this the other day. Dean Smith, most notably a head coach for Aston Villa, has been named the head coach for Charlotte FC. And they posted on Twitter a photo of him signing the contract. And it's not a real contract. So you'll understand what I mean when I go through this here. But you can zoom in on this photo. And this is what people were saying on Twitter and on Instagram, right? It was, oh my goodness, look at the contract. Zoom in on the actual piece of paper because it's not a real contract. And I'm like, what are they talking about? It's not a real contract. So, of course, I have to check this out, right? I have to say, what is going on? So I look and I zoom in, and the contract reads as the following. Congratulations and welcome to Charlotte Football Club, Dean Smith. The content team put together this very official document to confirm your signing and let fans know you put pen to paper, officially official. With this contract, you agree to the following. You are the head coach of Charlotte FC. Confirmed, you are the head coach of Charlotte FC. You will be on the touchline for Charlotte FC matches. Sir Minty is allowed to have a recurring weekly meeting with you. You agreed to 1 TikTok a month as deemed necessary by the team. Not really, it's fine. By signing this document, you also consent to this being given away on social media. One lucky fan will be the winner of this sacred text, and we'll have this we'll share this monumentous occasion with you. Congrats to the winner. You won a very official document. Again, welcome to the team. And then at the bottom, it has fine print. Legal team said we need to state clearly that this is in fact not an official document. Anything agreed to here is null and void. Sorry. I like this. I do. I think this is, number one, it's clever. Because if you look at their Twitter account, their X account, if you will, the amount of people who have seen this post, 11 million. And if you think that number is high for Charlotte FC, yeah, it's pretty high. I'm going to go through some of their posts and just read the amount of people who have seen it. Not interacted with it, not retweeted it, not liked it, just seen it. But from before this picture was posted. 66,000, 31,000, 29,000, 18,000, 30,000, 48,000, 50,000. So you're getting a sense of about how many people check in on the Charlotte FC social media page. But then you get to this announcement. Signed, sealed, delivered. Dean Smith, 11 million views. I like it. Drum up some media attention. A little bit of something to talk about. That's all I had to say about Charlotte FC. New head coach. We'll see what happens. We're going to talk about the NFL now. Yes, I know I teased it way too much. Cam Newton is in the news. Oh, boy. Cam Newton has a podcast, in case anybody didn't already know. And he had some things to say about current NFL quarterbacks.
Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, but Brock, they're not winning because of him.
He's not turning the ball over.
He's managing the game. And if we were to put that in its own right as game managers, Brock Purdy, Tua Tagovailoa, Jared Goff, and really, Dak Prescott. These are game managers. They're not difference makers.
And when you say game manager, I'm not asking you to go out and win the game. I'm just asking you not to lose.
Not to lose the game. Listen, I don't give a what you do. You don't have to score every time. You just don't have to throw a pick every time either. If we're going to really call a spade, a game manager is different than a game changer.
And that's what he had to say on his podcast. And national attention was garnered towards this. And I don't know why. I kind of, in a way, agree with him. I've yet to see Brock Purdy completely take over a game and say, you know what? We are not losing this game. This is now on my shoulders. We're going to win this football game. I've seen the skill players do that. You know, Christian McCaffrey does that. Debo does that. Brandon Ayuk does that. I don't know if we're ever going to see that out of Brock Purdy. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. He is the right quarterback for that situation. I don't know why this got so much heat. I mean, there's a lot of game managers in the NFL right now. I don't know about the Dak Prescott one. That one's a little different because I do feel like Dak at times is able to elevate his game above what his normal standard is and really take control late in the game. Cam Newton was able to do this. He was not a game. He was closer to a gunslinger than a game manager. And I'm not saying that he was a gunslinger because he absolutely wasn't. But he threw a lot of interceptions in his career. He only threw for 4,000 yards one time. Plenty of rushing yards, though. He wasn't a game manager. And I would think that a former quarterback would know whether or not somebody is a game manager. And it's okay. You know, Nick Foles, the quarterback when he was playing for the Eagles, was a game manager. He won a Super Bowl. Now, granted, he had one game, and that was the Super Bowl, where he just absolutely took control and went off. But for the most part, he was a game manager. Just don't lose the game. That is your job. And I agree with this take. I don't know why people are hating on Cam Newton. It might just be to hate on Cam Newton, because Cam Newton, whether you like him or not, you have an opinion about him. Cam Newton's name gets brought up and it's either, oh, I love that guy, or, oh, I can't stand that guy. There's no in between. Nobody's like, yeah, you know, it's Cam Newton. Doesn't move the needle. Yeah, he does. So I don't know. I feel like people are overreacting to this one. I have no problem with it. Maybe Bryce Young ends up being a game manager. I mean, right now he can't even game because, he had the worst game of his career last week. And I'm going to call it the worst game of his career. He missed some wide open throws. We got one more point to make about the Panthers on the other side of the break. One more segment to go. We're going to talk NFL, preview the Thursday night football game, and then we'll keep you updated on the hockey standings, and we'll send you off into the evening. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to The Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. We are back after this.
Keep it right here. There's more of The Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the way from the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. Already thinking about what you're going to do in the new year? Several performances scheduled at Kane Center for the Arts are already sold out. Some of the upcoming Kane Center performances include Rocky Lynn, Forever Young, Jeff Allen, and even a Stunt Dogs experience. To see the entire lineup and to purchase your tickets, visit kanearts.org. That's CAINarts.org. Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? Speedway Christmas is back. Happening daily, the amazing Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through January 7th. The show is open 6 to 10 p.m., rain or shine. The infield Christmas Village is open Thursday through Sunday nights. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now through January 7th. For tickets, visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. Santa is here. Schedule your time to take pictures between now and Christmas Eve in Birkdale. Appointments include time with Santa and 8 digital images from the professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Come enjoy Mistletoe Sip and Shops in downtown Mooresville this Friday. Open houses, store specials, sumptuous sips, divine deals, and yummy appetizers. Oh boy! This Friday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Mistletoe Sip and Shops this Friday night, downtown Mooresville. For more info, visit downtownmooresville.com. Have an event you'd like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. As you head through the remainder of the evening, the skies are going to remain clear. That low temperature overnight is going to be below freezing again. We're down at 26 degrees. We'll end the week with another sunny day. It was a beautiful week today. High temperature as you head through the afternoon, 56 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
The Ugly Antenna has now become a household name in this area. The Ugly Antenna allows those without a streaming provider to receive up to 50 channels absolutely free of charge, including Fox 46.1. The Ugly Antenna is small and connects directly to your TV. Get the Ugly Antenna for just $40. Call 704-682-1755. That's 704-682-1755 for the Ugly Antenna.
Remember the reason for the season. And thanks for listening to WSIC.
Now, more of the Scoreboard with Joe Berg on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, final segment on this beautiful Thursday. You're listening to the Scoreboard here on WSIC 105.9 100.7 FM. Call me up, 704-873-1400 if you have something you might want to talk about. Maybe a question, maybe a comment, maybe a concern. Give me a call. The Panthers are in the headlines today. And this is like secondary headlines. This is like not being reported on ESPN and Fox, NBC Sports, all those places. You can only get this type of coverage right here on the Scoreboard. Do you have a ticket app? SeatGeek, maybe? Right now, Section 532, I'm looking at a screenshot of tickets to the Panthers-Falcons game. Tickets for one ticket in Section 532, row 18. You can get that ticket for 45 cents. 45 cents for an NFL football game between two division opponents. 45 cents. And obviously the ticket's not actually going to end up being 45 cents because if you buy it on a ticket app like that, the fee is going to be $300 to begin with. So, $300.45. Yeah. What are we doing, man? This is bad. This team is so bad, they have to beg people to go watch them. Are they even making a profit at 45 cents? How is 45 cents going to pay the salary that's coming up for Brian Burns? It's not. I'm just playing around a little bit. But that is true. That is 100% true. So with the fee, honestly, the ticket probably comes to like $15. And tax, obviously. Thursday night football tonight, and it's a game that nobody asked for. Nobody asked for this one. Can we just pretend like this game never happened? Because I don't want to see it. I'm going to be very honest. You have backup quarterbacks going at it on a Thursday night football game. The Chargers and the Raiders. Both teams sit at 5-8. Al Michaels, man, I really hope he has something to drink in the booth at this point. Like, give this man something to drink. Give him a little bit of sense of hope, you know? Like, this man has had to sit through every Thursday night football game this year, and maybe has had 2 good games. And we have Saturday football this week. The Saturday games look okay. But man, what's going on with Thursday? And how is it that it's always the Thursday night game that is the worst? I'll tell you what it is. It's the fact that it's a Thursday night. Some of these teams just played on Sunday. Most of the teams played on Sunday. That's why. No rest, no preparation. So if you thought this game was going to be bad, it is going to be bad. We do have some good games on tap this weekend, though. And look, the NFC playoff picture is such a mess, and so is the AFC. They're both complete messes. We're going to need weeks to sort this out. It's going to be the last day of the season before this gets sorted out. But as a reminder, the Scoreboard is on the bandwagon of the New York Giants. We're rolling with Tommy DeVito for the rest of the year. I'll tell you what, this has nothing to do with anything. But if the New York Giants bench Tommy DeVito for Tyrod Taylor, who was their backup going into the year before he got hurt, the world is going to turn. And look, let's talk about this a little bit because we don't have too much time left, and there's not too much left in the news here that I want to get to you guys. If you thought the Panthers were in a bad spot, and they are, the Giants are also in a bad spot because their quarterback is Daniel Jones. He's getting paid $40 million a year to be terrible. He's probably going to be the starter next year. Week 1 in MetLife Stadium, if they're at home, Daniel Jones throws an interception. Oh my goodness, that stadium is going to get loud, and they are not going to be happy. You will hear, probably all the way here in the Iredell area, the chants coming from MetLife Stadium for Tommy DeVito. What if he takes them to the playoffs? I hope everybody out there is watching this story because it's one of the best in football right now. And, you know, there's really no good story here in Carolina right now. I mean, it's all bad. There's no good to talk about with this team right now. I'll try, but I can't make any promises. So we want to talk about the good stuff and the fun stuff in the NFL. And right now, the Giants and Tommy DeVito are the most fun team in the league. 3 games in a row. They were the 2nd overall pick a couple of weeks ago. They were going to draft Drake May. They were going to draft Caleb Williams. Now all of a sudden they have Tommy DeVito. They play the Saints this week in New Orleans. Very winnable game, but a team that they need to beat to move into the playoffs. Also, you have the Falcons taking on the Panthers, as I talked about. The Buccaneers and the Packers go at it. All these games are against teams that are like hovering at 500. The Saturday games, oh my goodness. The Vikings and the Bengals, both 7-6. The Steelers and the Colts, both 7-6. The Broncos and the Lions, well, the Broncos are 7-6, but the Lions are 9-4, so a little bit better. And then you have Sunday night Ravens, Jaguars, Monday night Eagles, Seahawks, and the 4 o'clock game of the week, Cowboys against the Bills. That game is in Buffalo. Did you see what the Cowboys are doing? Oh my goodness. On their hitting sleds when they're in practice, they're putting pictures of the Buffalo Bills players on the dummies. They're taking this one seriously. Man, I don't think there's been this much excitement about the Cowboys ever. Do we still think they're a real team? I mean, they did beat the Eagles. Got to give them credit for that. Not only did they beat the Eagles, they dismantled the Eagles. All of these games that I'm talking about are going to be so much more entertaining than tonight. Chargers, Raiders. I have no interest in this. There's got to be something else going on. There is something else going on. The Carolina Hurricanes play tonight. They're on the road in Detroit. That puck drop is at 7:30. And let me tell you, they need a win. They got to start winning. They got to go on a little bit of a run here. It's not time to panic. But when you look at the wild card, the first three teams in right now, well, the only two wild card teams right now are the Red Wings and the Capitals. Then you have the Devils and the Hurricanes and the Tampa Bay Lightning, all tied at 31 points. They got to start winning, separate themselves a little bit, maybe. I mean, look, you look at the rest of the league. When you look around these divisions, you have the Bruins, who are trying to separate, only 4 points ahead of the Panthers. You have the Rangers attempting to separate, 4 points ahead of the Islanders. And then you have other leagues. Look, the Pacific in the West, the Golden Knights, 6 points ahead of the second seed. This is what you need to do in the NHL. You need to win. You need to separate yourself, because in every NHL season, a team goes through a rut where they just don't look good. And it happens to every team. When it happens in the beginning of the year, man, you have a big uphill battle to climb to get into those playoffs. If you start strong, and then let's say in December or January, you go on a rough stretch, out of 15 games, you win 5 of them. You may have been good enough at the beginning of the year to have not fallen out of the playoffs. That is why at the beginning of the season, it is imperative to have a good start. You cannot play catch up, especially in the NHL and specifically in the Metropolitan Division, because everybody is good. There's probably one bad team, the Blue Jackets, and they are building. They are getting ready. They're gearing up. They signed Johnny Gaudreau a couple of off seasons ago. You haven't really heard of him too much lately because, well, the rest of the team isn't good, but they locked up somebody to build around. The Hurricanes, they have someone to build around. Aho, Svechnikov. If you want to look on defense, yeah, Brett Pesce. Seth Jarvis is pretty good. So they have pieces to build around, but they need to win. It doesn't matter if you have the pieces if you're not winning the games. You have to get a separation going. You have to get back into the playoffs, because once we get to the New Year's, everybody that's in the playoffs on New Year's Day has a much, much higher chance of making the playoffs than somebody who's out, even by a point. So check out the Hurricanes tonight against the Red Wings if you have no interest in Thursday night football. I think it's time to boycott Thursday night football, honestly. It's just terrible. It's not fun to watch. It makes me sad. Like, physically, I feel ill watching those games. Hopefully, I'll be well enough to come in tomorrow and do the show. Thanks for listening today. You've been listening to The Scoreboard right here on WSIC 105.9, 100.7 FM. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Have a good one, everyone.